Juan, you have the roll call.
Proclamations
of conflicts of interest, seeing none, we have no presentations, no delegations. We have just the one thing before us today, that's number 4.1. I get a mover and seconder to put this on the floor. Thank you, Mandy, the mover, and thank you, Richard, the seconder. The floor is open, folks. Maria, would you like to take us through the?
Sure, I can do a brief overview.
Yeah.
Sure. So at the last meeting on October 17th, the working group directed staff to define how best to utilize the already approved $10,000 budget for this advocacy campaign. And staff were asked to determine what was achievable within that budget, as well as look into additional investments to broaden the reach of the campaign. So the recommendation in the report today centers around a proposed slogan, "New Hospital Now," that uses a bold sort of red stamp style. And the concept is that it is approved, right? It's like a government stamp that this is approved to go forward. So it visually sort of signifies the urgency. And it's memorable, it's short, it's something that is not Brantford centric because it encompasses a new hospital for the area. It's not just about Brantford. There are other municipalities in the catchment. So planned elements within the $10,000 campaign budget include a dedicated webpage on the city's website. So it would be brantford.ca/new hospital now. We've created a mock-up that was one of the appendix of the report. There would be lawn signs that would be available to residents across the city who want to participate and show their support for the campaign. I believe the funding at the $10,000 level, we'd be able to do about 1,000 to 1,500 signs. It also includes a petition, both paper and digital, again, to rally public support. So the $10,000 primarily focuses on the lawn signs and creating an education around that. We were also asked to look at what would be an optimal campaign beyond the $10,000 range. And so we expanded it to include doing 5,000 lawn signs, also doing a paid social media campaign to extend the reach, doing some digital and print ads, and then doing posters that would include the QR code that goes directly to the website. And that campaign recommendation came out at $43,500. We were also asked to assess the cost and value of including partial or full bus wrap and digital billboards. We looked into those costs. They're in the report. And while we love bus wraps, we do. And council will see that we normally do recommend them when we have a robust budget to work with. For example, the green bin program, we had a really healthy budget to work with. And so it was included in that because it does definitely make a dramatic statement, but it's really expensive. It's the production and the media costs are over $25,000. So we think cost prohibitive for this particular campaign, and the lead times are such that it would take at least a month to be able to get it in the market. So basically, the recommendation focuses on maximizing the resources we have or getting a little bit more to extend the reach of the campaign and be able to produce more signs.
Super. I should say that we've learned lately that the county will not be participating on our committee because we weren't aware of that. They had a discussion at their council meeting, I believe, last week or earlier this week, and they chose not to nominate anybody to sit on this committee. So we're just going alone, City of Brantford reps, and as well as Maggie Copeland, who's from Mississauga's Hospital Board. So folks, on the item before us, questions and comments? Everybody happy? Mayor?
Everybody been listening. So You know, the one question is the design of the sign. Put that aside for a second. The number of signs, the amount of money. I know from my experience running for mayor, if you can get 1,000 signs on the community, man, that's you're papering the community. You don't need 5,000. 1,000 would have a lot of signs all over the place. We gotta be mindful about going into a pretty tight budget and how much we're spending here. This is not in a budget. I know we have to be sensitive to criticisms that are out there that sometimes do things outside of the budget. So be mindful of that. I think we got to hang tough to our original budget allocation of $10,000, and that'll give us a lot of signs to then supplement and supplement what council appropriates can do. So far as doing a bus route, things like that, I agree it has an impact, but boy, it's expensive. I think it's too expensive. The design of the sign, I like the idea of that stamp message. And we'd normally do that on a white background. But oftentimes we know from past experience, if your lettering is white against a colored background, it stands out more. But just the problem we have is we're not seeing different mock-ups. I don't see a material now.
Do we have the blue one, Marie?
Yep, we did a blue one. We
It's not in
didn't
what I
do,
can see.
no, it
No,
wasn't
okay,
part of the original report.
And then I'm thinking back to Elizabeth, who she said she could put together, I think it's no cost to us, a little group. That's probably people that are in the chamber that could look at the different sign designs and give us kind of an unbiased response, reaction by
A focus group.
a focus group.
Yes.
Oh,
different name, but
Because we all have in our
That's
head,
good.
driven by our various campaigns, we think we
Yeah,
are.
we did it
know
in
what's
blue, but
best.
not the whole thing.
What does it look if you reverse it? You put,
So I can show you that. I don't have a copy of it here, but oh, sorry. Yeah, the graphic designer said it doesn't look like a stamp anymore. It's a different visual. It's just the white letters on a blue background. It looks more like that sign.
so you lose the.
You lose the stamp effect.
I like
You
the stamp.
usually
I like the
stamp a white piece of paper, so yeah,
Well, those are my comments.
that's
Fair,
the
thank you.
draw. But if the blue is more important, you go that route.
Red does stand out more.
It does.
Mandy, go ahead.
yeah, so I, just to add to what you were saying, I think, at first look at the sign, I wasn't in love with the visual, but I do, once I read what it was supposed to mean, I think that it made a lot more sense. I think that I like the idea of the stamp and the meaning of approval with that too, and the urgency of the red. So I do think that although the blue would be, there would be some meaning behind that as well. I think the urgency of the red and how much more it stands out, I think is valuable. I did with the other things that had been like sent from us from Elizabeth. I did like the idea of we need a new hospital, together we can get it done, but maybe we go with this because it's simpler. And then I just wanted to note that I read that you said that if a paper petition is not what's submitted, the online one, it doesn't actually count. So I just want to make sure that we are making that very clear, because I think a lot of people are going to sign the online and not the in person. And so I do have some concern with that. And I didn't see that in the mock-up where it tells people that, that they can't.
Yeah, so Laura can speak to that.
Okay.
So the draft of the petition itself is supposed to include just the text that is included in the petition, but when we post the online one on the website, we can make it very clear that signing the online petition just is how you show your support. If you want your support sent to the Legislative Assembly of Ontario, you need to also sign the petition. So we'll make that very clear.
Yeah. So what we learned since the last meeting is that some municipalities accept the digital petitions and some do not. It has to be a hard copy. And so the province's stance is they want it in hard copy.
And then the other thing I wanted to
The
mention.
clerks told us that. So,
The other thing I wanted to mention was I really liked the way that Whitby had laid out theirs and all of the explanations and things like that they had in the information. And I just wanted to make sure that when you guys are looking at doing our actual website, we will have similar information like that and some more meaningful images as well in the way that they had some more.
Chair will,
I'm sorry.
the chair will direct. the
Yeah,
person
I'm
Speaking, thank you. Councilor Carpenter, did you want to jump in?
The lawn signs, the house, what size are they?
16 by 24. Sorry,
Actually,
no,
they're 18,
18 by 24, yeah.
They're a little bigger than,
a little bit bigger than that.
that's why there's so much more.
Um,
They're $7.50 a piece.
Approximately, yes.
yes,
The quote that we have so far is $5,500 for 1,000.
Well, I got 7,500 here.
yes,
that's
that
what's
was
in the
the quote that we got, but Councillor McCreary got a lower quote from a
Well,
different vendor.
That makes more sense.
Sorry, let me correct the dimensions. So what was quoted by the local distributor is 16 by 20, 3 mil coroplast, 1,000 pieces, 55.52.
Yeah, so it's the same unit price.
Yeah,
With the metal stakes.
with the H-frame stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, Council.
Yeah.
My only concern with the sign is it doesn't educate those out there that think the hospitals are responsibility. Someone put that sign on the lawn, they might be saying, you know, Brantford City Council, we need a hospital now. Doesn't say anything about the province, it doesn't say anything about the 2025 budget. Because if I see it, if we pass the 2020 April 2025 and it's not in the budget, then we fail. It's over. The province decides it's not over. That's my thoughts on the wording.
Let me, before we come back to the mayor for another opportunity. Before I come back to the mayor.
Okay.
For another opportunity, let me say this. I think this is really great work this department's done. Okay. And there's a lot of interrelationships that we have to solidify before we actually launch in terms of getting staff volunteers to put signs together, folks to be able to distribute them at the locations here and perhaps others. We're off to a great start, and now we can hurry up our offense. Turnaround time for the signs is going to be about a week. So if we can make a decision today and direct staff to proceed with the purchase of the signs, Councilor Carpenter said at the last meeting, we've got to get this done because pretty soon the ground will be frozen. It'll be harder to put the sticks in, right? With respect to the colors and the reverses, there was a, Councilor Carpenter will remember very well, there was a political campaign going back a number of years ago where one of the political parties chose to use a white background with red lettering, and in certain lights, everything disappeared. So I'm worried about the white background. I don't know the technicalities of putting white ink on a sign. Like we could do a 2-color, maybe that wouldn't bleed then if you want to use the white background. We can certainly look at that. But if that's not going to work for us, I'd be very cautious about using the blue or the red stamp on a clear field, because the field just disappears. So those are kind of my comments. Mayor, go ahead and proceed.
Frustration. You're trying to send on attachments through our email system. It's frustrating. Anyways, I spoke to Elizabeth Roy a couple of weeks back. She's the mayor of Whitby, and she said she would make her comm staff be able to speak to you and your staff. And if you want, I can make a reach out.
Sure.
Obviously, they designed the campaign. The comms department at Whitby. So she did make that up. So,
Okay.
So far as the messaging I was getting a couple of weeks ago was all about the budget, which Councilor Carpenter referred to. There is a hospital reimagining that committee meeting next week, and that's the committee of hospital committee with it, by Mayor Bailey, myself, the MP, MPP, to help the hospital as it moved forward with its proposal for a new hospital. And it may be that the campaign is changing slightly so that the focus will not be on getting it in the budget in the spring. I'm told this may be happening. I'm not sure why or what the thinking is, but hopefully that'll be clear next week when I attend the meeting. So it may be that the focus of this campaign doesn't necessarily need to be on the budget. Plus, it's really hard to put that message. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
But I think what we want to do is keep lobbying and keep the pressure on the powers to be, which is the problems, to move this process along and give us a new hospital. And so that's why I like this sign campaign. I do like the white background. I do prefer the red. And we limit it to what we got. We see from Whitby what it is they might be able to, what advice they can give us to help round out our
Look
campaign.
at their content too. Yeah.
So she said she asked her staff to work with you.
Right. Yeah.
So I can send an email, just confirm that and get some contact information.
Sure.
Yes, so just to add to all of the other things that we're talking about, I think that it's something we've talked about that at the other meetings is that would lend itself well to this campaign and these signs is the idea of having different partners take pictures with the signs or having people do videotape messages that I don't think we have to put a lot of cost into that, but they could be holding the sign and speaking to why we need a new hospital and those kinds of things. I think those would be great ways to add to the content that we're already looking at.
So we have before us a recommendation to receive the report. I think it really would be advantageous today to give firm direction to proceed with this. So would somebody like to provide an amendment to do so? Thank you, Mandy. Councilor and seconder, and then we'll craft the body of the amendment. Gentlemen, seconder. Thank you, Mayor. So are we going to direct staff to proceed with the model before us, which is the red stamp on a white background? Is that the desire of the committee? Mandy? So that's in the body of your amendment, that to proceed with that and other activities outlined for the budget originally given.
Yeah, with the addition of the idea of looking at videos and stuff, and also looking at the content from the and talking about.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right. So
all of
that's
those things.
so that's on the floor then for discussion. Any councilor?
The new hospital now sign logo. Is that something that we can make accessible to anybody that wants to attach that to their emails, to their letterhead? To anything that they deal with, they can simply just take it, paste it.
Yep.
Council members could put it on their email as a regular letter, with their constituents or whatever.
So through the chair, we have something on our website called a gallery, photo gallery. We actually share like a high profile pictures of Brantford that real estate agents and people who are helping the city sell the city use. So we could add it to a gallery and they just download it and they can have it.
And I also suggest that
You didn't know that? I will send you the link.
the sign, so they're smaller than Kevin Davis' sign and larger than my sign, as I would understand that dimensions. But I think we should have few signs, maybe 10, that are quite large. So that, because you're driving by, you see this sign, you might be able to read it at that space. But seeing the larger sign will remind you whenever you see the red and white what it means. It's sort of, so the bigger sign makes the small sign more relevant. Always been my style anyways.
So like a 2x4, you mean? 4x8?
Well, I don't think you would go 4x8, that's too big.
Okay.
Something bigger, even that size. Even that size.
Yeah, so the sign that we will be getting is the same height as that, Councillor, 4 inches shorter. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll
4
be
inches
fine.
shorter.
Okay,
So it's virtually that size.
so that's fine.
Hold that up. Yes.
I would like to, thank you, Chair, for the would actually like to announce I'm prepared to make a donation to this campaign.
Wow,
And I have about 600 wires.
excellent.
600.
The
wires,
wires,
okay,
the
yeah.
stands, excellent,
Yeah.
yes,
Beauty.
Around 5 that I would
500,
prepare-
okay.
It's somewhere around. And they're in reasonably good shape.
Okay.
That I would prepare to.
Excellent.
So that would allow us to. spend more on.
Yes, we can make more
Yes.
with the
Means
budget.
someone has to come to my garage.
Oh, your garage, okay.
That's very generous.
I feel there.
Yeah.
Yes.
My heart is lighter.
I brought the sign in.
He gets to clean out his garage too.
So is everybody happy with proceeding the way we're about to? All good? Okay. I think I will check with the local sign company and see if they can apply white ink as well as the red ink so that we can opaque the field.
Mhm.
And there won't be any bleed through. If that meets with everybody's satisfaction, we could think about two color. Okay.
And then we can, through the chair, if it's all right, we can compare the quote using that with the vendor that we normally use.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we're getting
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best value.
Is that a local person?
It is,
I think I saw the name
yeah,
somewhere.
it's Bex.
Okay, so everybody's happy with that then? And there's nothing further to do with respect to artwork, so we could get this ordered
Mhm.
tomorrow probably and have delivery by a week from today or thereabouts. All good? All right. Let's vote on the amendment that we've got before us then, which is to give direction to do all that stuff. We can have a show of hands for those in favor. That's unanimous. And then we're on to the recommendation A as amended. Any further discussion on that? Then we shall vote on the receiving and amending. Those in favor? That's unanimous as well. And that concludes our business today. Thanks, everybody.
We have the minutes as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, minutes, yeah. I guess I didn't get a mover for everything before us today because I forgot about the minutes. So same mover and seconder for the minutes, is that okay? And vote on that, those in favor, and that carries unanimously. Excellent, thank you. Thanks for the good save, Juan.